pass mics in here, or do you just go?
Opening comments.
Grant, talk about, I guess, first of all, your free throw shooting tonight. Just feel good at the line all night, or?
Something I worked on since the summer, and something I knew I needed to improve on. For me, it was just about, I knew last game I missed 2, and it frustrates me when I miss those because you don't get many opportunities like that, and tonight I did, and you have to take advantage of those. You think about it, I missed 1, 2, 3 of those, we lose the game, and that's how I want to start. I've been hard on myself. So first I'd like to say, shout out to Tony White. You thought about him during the night, and I told him I was going to try and break his scoring record, but one day, but I didn't get there. But I just wanted to show him some love and show him because we're in Nashville, and I know he's here fighting right now, and I wanted to do something special for him, and I'm glad I could do that in front of him.
Grant, with the second half, you guys are settling for a lot of jump shots to open things up. Did you just have the other bit that you had to take things over inside?
We were getting good looks. We had a lot of shots that we could make, and we took a lot of good shots for our offense, and they just weren't falling tonight, and that happens. Sometimes you come to a game, you're making everything. Sometimes you come to the game, and you're not making any shot, and you have to fight for every basket. And credit to Vandy, they did a great job guarding us. They forced us out of our stuff. They did a good job. They would switch their man, and I should say they fought hard tonight, and we respect them, and so they're going to be really, really talented, especially this year. They're going to get a lot of team trouble this year and further on.
Graham, we've seen a lot of visiting teams will down the stretch here in Memorial Gym. You guys didn't panic. Is that what the coach teaches you, or is that just how you guys play the game?
It's part of teaching. Coach Barnes has done a great job for us. He's molded us to the men that we are today. But it's also a part of the maturity of this team and how we've been in this situation before. There's times where we need to get better. There's a lot of things we need to get better at, like my body language needs to get better in these moments. And it's something that, as I said, I'm hard on myself so I can get better with. As well as other guys, we have a lot of things that we need to work on. We're not there yet. And we just brought the best out of everybody.
Remember the last time you scored 43?
I don't think I ever have them. Maybe, I don't think so.
On that play,
minute 32 left, and you're down in the corner in the last 5 minutes. Just what's the mindset of the team you guys telling each other?
We tell ourselves we've been in tough situations than this. We've fought through a lot over these years, and that's the perk of having guys who've been with each other so long. And we knew that Vanderbilt wasn't going to be shallow. They weren't going to win away. They were going to play hard, and you think about it, at the end of the game, that's where the frustrations come out because it's such a hard-fought game, it's such a battle. And that's just a part of what you love about SEC basketball. What you love about the game is that it brings the best out of everyone, even the competitive side, it brings the emotion, and it just goes out.
On that play where, y'all forced Ryan to take that tough 3 in the corner, I think they set 2 screens for him, and y'all still stuck with him and forced him to take a tough shot. Did y'all almost know what they were going to do there? It looked like y'all were clearly.
I saw Brown get hit, and I switched out on him. It was pretty fast, honestly. And I just knew that I had to throw my hands back and make a tough shot. And we were up by 3 at the time, I think. And I just knew that they were going to run. I knew they were going to be aggressive, and he hit 2 or 3 threes, tough NBA range threes tonight. And I knew they were going to go to him or Nesmith or Aaron. So that's just a matter of execution at the end and being in that situation and being able to communicate with the brothers.
Grant, you had a 37 here last year, 43 tonight. Is there something about this building that kind of just brings out the best in you?
Honestly, no. Because my freshman year, I think I had 8. It's just a matter of coming in and doing the job and executing. And my teammates put me in a lot of great spots tonight. I did a good job of using my physicality against the free throw line, and then everybody did what they needed to do. We got the stops when we needed them. We weren't playing much defense most of the game, but when we truly needed to the last 2 minutes, and then most of overtime, we did a good job of locking it on that end. So it's really just about learning to do that the entire game rather than putting ourselves in that situation.
3 more.
Do you think this team's going to learn the lesson of kind of not waiting until the final few minutes of a game to play defense the way you did last season?
Definitely. Like I said, each day you have a chance to get better, and we can learn from this game. We can learn from what they did and what we didn't do right, and what we did do right. We can continue to get better at it. So we just have to go back, check out the film. We're going to do a good job this week. I know we have 3 games in 6 days. I think it is tough games. We play West Virginia next, who I think just beat Kansas or something like that. And we have South Carolina, who's on a roll right now, and he's coach. And, Frank Martin is. So it's just exciting to be a part of this.
Grant, Jordan had a couple big free throws there at the end, late, and after that little scuffle.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, Jordan Bone had a couple big free throws late after that little scuffle. You were kind of shouting at him as he came down the floor before he shot. What were you saying to him?
I just said that it was nothing heinous. It was just we had to walk out here, be mature. Just because that happened and getting slammed, it was just a tie up at the end. And I said, just focus on making these 2 free throws. That's what we need, because if say he had missed those or missed one or two, they could have came down, somehow got a foul or made a 3 and tied the game. So it was just a matter of maturing and saying, hey, we're going to get everyone's best shot, we're going to get everyone's fight, and being able to just walk out as mature enough. I think that's what we learned from the Florida game. I told the guys, none of that, just flashing our jersey, none of that, because as a team, we have to show that maturity and show that we've been here before and done this. So I think that Bob did a great job at that.
Finish up with Mike right here. What did you learn about life as number 1 today, and what was the initial plan on that final play in regulation?
The initial plan, we got what we wanted, but we didn't get execution because I got the ball where I needed to, but the way they played it, I should have thrown the ball back to AD, and I didn't make the right read. Forced up a tough shot and got blocked. That's something that I'll have to think about, and I could have put my team in a very bad situation and just let the game out there ourselves another time. So that's something that I'll learn from, and that's something where I can mature with. And then what was other?
What did you learn about life as a number 1 team in the country?
Life as number 1 team in the country is difficult. It's going to be, you're going to get everyone's best shot, and no matter how well they play, I think this might be the best Vandy's played all year. And that's a testament to them coming in prepared and ready to fight and battle. And that's going to be every night. You're going to get everyone's best shot, because everyone wants to be that team that says, I'm not off the number 1 team in the country. That's how we were back in the day. That's how we thought about every time we played like a Kentucky when we were freshmen. Every time we played Carolina, we were thinking we deserve to be here. Vandy, I feel like, thinks the same way. They definitely believe that they'll be here one day. And that's what perfect Tennessee. It's going to be a great basketball. It's already a great basketball state, and it's going to keep growing. Memphis, Vanderbilt, Tennessee coming.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank you.
First of all, let's talk about Vanderbilt. I thought they were terrific. Got a lot of respect for Coach Drew, and I thought his team fought. They played hard, and it's you've got to have great appreciation for them. They made a lot of shots. It seemed like the shot clock got down some late. They knocked it in, and you've got to give them a lot of credit for all of it. They fought hard, and again, I thought they played their hearts out. We had to play, but I also think that where we are, that's the bed you make, and you got to understand that you're going to get the best shot from a lot of people every single night. But we found a way. We weren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but at the end of the game, we found a way to make some plays. We've got to continue to get better. I thought we got a little bit emotional at times with some of our shots at last play of the game. When Grant got it blocked, that ball should have been kicked back to Admiral. The way they had set the defense, and just to get a clean look at it over 3 seconds, you got to get a shot off. And other than that, it was hard. They went back and did some things that we hadn't seen. They hadn't shown all year with their elbow series, where they were really working hard and making us work hard. And I thought our guards did some good things and tried to adjust to it. But again, I think you got to give them a lot of credit. And they played really, really hard. And I've got so much respect, because I understand. I've been in that situation where Bryce is right now, and really some of the best coaching is done when you have to deal with the injury that he had early in the year to a very key player, and then to keep his guys locked in and to get them to play with that much emotion and fight is, again, his whole staff should be commended for it, because they deserve it. And I'm glad we won, but again, I just can't tell how much respect I have for them.
Is this game what you've been trying to tell your guys about what life's going to be like at the top?
Yeah, I think so, and it is, and it's only that reminds you of a late season game where one team is making a lot of shots. They made 10 out of 21 threes and shot the ball well, and controlled the possessions, got into deep possessions, and really tried to work hard at keeping us from getting out in transition. But I do think that was we've been in it. The game Saturday, I'm not sure we really got down that far as we did tonight, but I thought the play coming out of the timeout when we got to dunk, we wanted to
really put the ball inside right there. The first option was to get Grant the ball, and to be honest with you, he was open. But I saw when we were coming out of the timeout that Jordan Bone and Jordan Bowden looked at each other, and I wasn't in a position to tell them not to do what they did, but they did it. And but they looked at it. So again, I can tell you Grant was open, and because he was open is probably what set that lane up for Jordan to go get it.
Pretty simple to say Grant carries you tonight?
Offensively, but he, again, they did a good job putting him in some defensive situations too, where going to him, getting to the free throw line. He started out doubling the post, and they started out in the zone, and we knew they were going to do that. We got to their post guys got some serious foul trouble. Then he went away from the double team, and I think probably because Grant does pass out of it. Kyle got to the front of the rim a few times for some easy baskets, and I, to be honest with you, I felt at some point in time we were going to make a three. I don't know why. I just kept thinking if we could get it from there out, we'd knock one down. But yeah, he had a night where he, the 4-point play was obviously a huge play in the game. It really was, and but yeah, offensively, you look at his numbers. I'd say that he did a good job for us tonight.
Coach, Vandy shot 50%. First time anybody's done that since Kansas. Does that kind of reinforce what you've been telling the guys about defense?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, again, they made some tough shots too. Now it wasn't like we got lost a few times, which we're not going to play perfect. But again, I just think you've got to give a lot of credit to Vandy, and we got a key guy. Had maybe as bad a night as he's had in a long, long time. He just never got going any way, shape, or form in the game. Kyle's minutes were kind of unsung. I thought Derek Walker played there for that 1 minute. When you look at it, it was a huge minute in the game. We need John Fulkerson. There's no doubt, but he's got to make up his mind he's going to defend somebody. And again, I think you look at the numbers, you've got to give Vandy all the credit, because it's one thing shooting the ball, but it's another thing making them. Again, I just have a lot of respect for him.
Rick, that's the best Vandy has played. Do you see moving forward, what pieces do you see on that roster that you think Bryce can win some games late this year?
Well, I think what Bryce is doing is really where you have to remember we were there 4 years ago. And I think Bryce, he's a super human being, and he's going to build a program. And right now he's in a situation where he still is building his culture. And there's no doubt again, this is me, because I went through it, I'm sure he's looking for that leadership. And where's he going to get it? That's where, and sometimes it takes time for guys to grow into it. And it end up might being a freshman, a sophomore. And if I look at the group, I love what tonight, I look at what Nesmith did, and Saben Lee, those guys laid it out there. And walked through the line, and I saw how emotionally upset Aaron Nesmith was. That's the start, I'm telling you, because you got somebody that lays it out there and they're willing to put that kind of emotion into it. That's where leaders began. And then it gets down to freshmen saying, can I really do this? Should I really do this? And at some point it will click. And it took us, honestly, 2 years to get to that point. And it happened with the guys that you see that are leading us now.
Rick, Jordan Bone, 14 points, 7 assists, no turnovers in 36 minutes. Is that what you expect out of him, or is he just really in the zone right now?
Yeah. We all know Jordan's continued to get better. The only play I thought he didn't do a great job of was when we got the mismatch on the ball screen, when he should have put it inside or driven the ball, and he raised up and took that free. But he's gotten so much better. He's getting so much more of a feel where he's connecting the dots for us offensively. Defensively, when he wants to, he can really lock in and defend. And but he's only going to get better, and I believe that about him. He's starting to get a nice little quiet confidence about him, where you look at his numbers. I think he's 6 to 1 assist turnover ratio right now, which is phenomenal, and he likes doing it.
This has been a couple
of these last 2 games, I guess. Have you seen anything that's causing that, or is it just simply shots not falling?
No, well, he puts, again, there's no doubt he puts pressure on himself, because as much time as he spends in the gym, he's kind of got to go back tonight, he'll walk in the gym maybe and start shooting the ball or something. He goes back. I just think he's got to go back, and I've said it about Grant, I've said it about him. When they're rebounding, playing defense, the offense is going to take care of itself.
How do you teach your team not to panic? Alabama game, they didn't panic. You're down today, you didn't panic. How do you teach them not to panic?
Well, we've been through a lot. Been through what I said 2 years ago, where we were, struggling for every single basket. Where you almost, and we know it's not a game of perfect, but you feel like you got to play perfect to win some games. And at home, we felt like you're hoping that you can win at home because of the crowd. And again, I appreciate the crowd we had here tonight. But we've been in a lot of situations. I think our non-league schedule through the years has helped us, and I think now that our guys realize that we're going to be in these kind of games, and this is what we were used to a year ago. Coming down the stretch, this is what we dealt with all the way down the stretch last year, and we've been in some this year, and we'll continue to be.
Rick, you mentioned they had some new stuff.
Last one.
That gave you some trouble. What specifically were they doing?
Playing off the elbows a lot. The hit the elbow series, coming off the split game, going in, making some really good reads, and if we went over top, they'd turn it up and get downhill. And again, I thought Bryce did a great job, and again, you got to give them a lot of credit, and because I just respect the way they played their hearts out. I'm telling you, I thought they worked hard defensively and trying to really disrupt us. And again, we didn't shoot, and we had some looks. Now, I will tell you, we had some open shots, and we didn't make them. And early in the game, there was no doubt they were hoping we'd settle for threes early, and we didn't do that against the zone, which helped us, and they decided to get out of it.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you all.
He's now on the bus to try.
Really proud of our guys. So, man, we made some huge strides since our last couple games, and I'm just crushed for them that it didn't turn out to win for all their effort.
Rick Barnes complimented Aaron Nesmith and his emotion and all that, how distraught he was in the handshake line. What do you think about that emotion? Is that a good thing? Is it something that can lead to some leadership?
Aaron's a stud. Again, he has every attribute that you want in your leader, that you want in someone on your basketball team. And so, and he wasn't the only guy crying. There's a lot of guys crying because, we thought we deserved this game. We thought there were some things that happened, obviously that were out of our control for us winning. And boy, they fought off games. Really proud of them.
Did you get a look at the flagrant?
A little bit. I know there's a protocol, so I'll just talk about our players right now and just say, how proud I am of them again for fighting through a lot of adversity and still coming back and having chances to win.
What do you tell your team after a game like this? What do you tell them? How do you?
Yeah, we had a great moment. A lot of guys crying in there, and we're really young, and there's just no getting around it. Our leading scorers tonight were 2 freshmen and a sophomore, and I don't think they played a freshman 1 minute tonight. So this is a building time. This is a bonding time, and we all wanted to win, but how we bonded tonight and how we bonded in that locker room, you've got to go through stuff like this. It makes you tougher. It makes you better. It makes you more hungry. And again, I think that locker room was the closest we've been all season.
Did you ask for a review, I think, where Saben got fouled at the end under your basket where you were?
I did. I wanted to go to the monitor, and the reply was, they didn't need to go to the monitor right then.
Coach, another close loss at home. What do you guys need to do to kind of finish some of these out?
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about the positives right now. So, our guys busted their tail, and we had a defensive rebound up 6. Unfortunately, it didn't bounce our way, after that. But in overtime, we fought back. We easily could have collapsed. We fought back and still had a chance to win in overtime.
You said you had a good moment in the locker room. Did anyone just, other than you, like players, speak up, say anything in that moment?
They were speaking a lot during huddles. Obviously they're really disappointed, but the fire and the emotion we got from them is what we've been pushing towards, what we've been working towards, and now we got to keep it, as we move forward.
Had a different starting lineup, did some things different offensively. Mm-hmm. Is that stuff you've been thinking about and working toward, or did those changes all come in the last 3 days?
Again, we were built as a drop back pass team, and so a lot of our players were in those roles. And we've had some actions that go to more like a wishbone, put in football sense. And so now we're kind of switching to more like a wishbone deal. So we played 2 bigs tonight, which was different. I thought they did a really good job. I thought they shared the ball well, and I thought obviously we made shots. When you make shots, your offense looks a lot better.
Bryce, they always say don't let a game beat you twice. You got to put this one behind you. Get a point on Saturday. How do you do that?
You know, if I knew that exact answer, like I wouldn't be coaching, I'd be speaking across the country, you know, making a lot of money doing that. So, you know, it boils down, I think, to you know, we have 48 hours or so to rebuild, I guess to learn, to rebuild, and then to prepare. I'm sorry, prepare. And so there's a lot we have to do these next couple of days. But the first thing is going to be, you know, keeping these guys positive, keeping them upbeat, because it is devastating. You know, obviously they wanted to win, and they played well enough to win.
Rick Barnes said your program's along the same path as his, just younger, a few years ago is where his was. Did he mention that to you about that path? And can you see his point that you're young now, you can grow into what they are?
Well, as a coach, I see our youth every day in practice. I see it. You know, you see it in games. I thought some of our guys grew up tonight. You know, I thought some of our guys, you know, mistakes that they made earlier in the year, it didn't phase them, it didn't phase their body language tonight. And again, we've been working not just on the X and O's, we've been working on, you know, the manhood and the attitude. And that's probably one of my biggest fulfillments tonight is we saw guys overcome some adversity and still stay the course and play well. And that's what we're striving for.
Bryce,
how satisfied were you with the kind of the compete level and the energy from the teams? It seemed like they were kind of playing with just a little bit of extra edge, a little bit of extra motivation in certain.
Yeah, you know, again, this is a very physical team. We out-rebounded them tonight. You know, that's a great compliment, you know, to our guys fighting. And, you know, I think some guys are feeling more comfortable. You know, Aaron Nesmith is a freshman, but he's starting to play much more mature. You know, Yanni Wetzel's never played Division I in his life. He's starting to feel more comfortable out there. And so as these guys feel more comfortable, you know, obviously the next step we're all waiting for is, you know, to close it out and get a win.
Bryce, one of the wrinkles to your offense was a lot of kick-ins to the post and some kick-outs off that. Can you talk specifically about that wrinkle tonight?
Yeah, our post did a really good job passing back and forth. And then Saben did a really good job when they were switching some actions. You know, he made some threes and made them pay for switching. So at the end of the day, when you make shots, when you take care of the ball, you know, when you pass it better, when you get a better quality shot, you end up making more.
Is he starting to see the floor better? It seems like more of the times when he drives, it used to be just layups. He seems like he's kicking it out of it more now.
You know, 7 assists, 2 turnovers. He would not have had that 2 weeks ago. And so I think you see major improvement, you know, from him in that area. I think you see major improvement in our guys just knowing, being a little more comfortable with each other, sharing the ball better. And again, you know, we're encouraged because we played, you know, a lot better, but you know, obviously we're disappointed it didn't go our way.
So did you see this type of performance coming, or did it surprise you that they took the big step tonight?
You know, for 2 weeks we've been practicing well. Our energy's good, and you know, our energy's not stopping. You know, we're moving forward. We're striving. We got a vision as we move forward, and we got some great people that we can build around. And again, we like where our culture's at. You know, that next step is just getting that maturity and closing out some games.
Tennessee obviously put a lot of fans in the stands tonight, but Vanderbilt fans kind of were pretty loud for, you know, from a lot of the game. How much did that kind of fuel your energy and feeling, you know, like this gym kind of has been in the past?
Yeah, you know, it was obviously the crowd was fantastic. You know, obviously we liked it when their fans were a little more quiet during some of those stretches. And, you know, unfortunately, just didn't go our way, but our fans were awesome, proud of them, and thank them for coming out and being there for us.
They had an extraordinary from Brent Williams to
Yeah.
that game. You just have to tip your cap to a guy on a night like that? Or?
You know, you got to pick your poison. You know, they surrounded him. You know, they subbed in a lot, put a lot of shooters around him. And, you know, usually, you know, every game he usually gets 2 charges a game. And so, you know, when it came down to it, we were still kind of having the lead. So we didn't want to switch everything we were doing because our guys were comfortable in what we were doing. And, you know, if he misses 4 of those free throws, maybe it changes things. You know, if we can get 1 stop in there, you know, that changes things.
Coach, you guys got 15-2 early. When you call it timeout, did any players, I guess, in the huddle kind of take ownership and kind of take over in a way to lead?
You know, it was collective tonight. A lot of guys were talking in huddles. And, you know, I mean, success breeds success. And so if you start to make good plays, you feel better. You feel like you have more authority to talk and to say things. And, you know, we're striving for breakthrough. You know, once we get breakthrough, it's fun to see how these guys react.
Any more for Coach? Okay,
Thank you, guys.
What's sort of the balance between pride and the effort tonight and disappointment in the results?
I mean, definitely happy for how we played and proud of our team and just what we put together today. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a loss, so it still hurts.
That's the most comfortable you've looked, I think, all season in the offense. Was it something different you guys were doing offensively, or just you just had a really good night?
I mean, we changed the offense a little bit. We ran some different sets, but it was just a good day for me.
Do you feel like, though, maybe you guys have hit on something offensively that can work the rest of the season, or was it a good matchup for what Tennessee was doing?
I definitely thought that our offense today could translate to other games. I thought we got a lot of success out of it, and there was a lot of action you have to throw.
Aaron, do you think this game tonight, playing number one team in the country as close as you guys did, is a sign of growth that you guys have considering you're a pretty young team?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very proud of the way we played today. Played as a team. Adversity hit at the very beginning of the game, and we didn't get down. We didn't separate. We stayed together. We came back and had to lead for a good bit of the game. So.
Talking about getting down early, what, Saben, this is for you too, did you guys kind of take ownership in the huddle? What was being said? What type of steps were being taken to try and get yourselves back into this game?
I mean, they're just staying together. They came out hitting shots, I think. They only missed like 1 or 2 shots within like the first 7 or 8 possessions. So we knew those shots weren't going to fall all night. And so when they weren't, we capitalized on it. So that's the whole thing.
Aaron, Coach Barnes was in here and said he really liked your emotion in the game. I mean, is that just how you feel natural playing? Did you play your best when you're emotional?
Yeah, I definitely play my best when I'm emotional. Like, I'm just an emotional dude. Like, I let my emotions show ever since high school. So, I mean, whenever I'm emotional, I know I can get my teammates more emotional, and we just all start playing better and having more fun.
Is there anything to gain by, he said you were really distraught from the loss. I know you dropped down the floor and all that at the end. Do you think there's something to gain by being that torn up by a loss?
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta learn from your losses. I mean, you learn more from losing than you do from winning, like I said before. So, I mean, you gotta get back to the drawing board and be better for the next one.
Saben, how have you seen Aaron evolve as a leader and kind of as a more mature player on this team over the last few months?
I mean, he's doing a lot for us. He definitely looks a lot more comfortable as like games go in. So he's been hitting big shots for us and just bringing a lot to the team.
Saben, you made some 3-pointers tonight, 2 more than you've been making. You feel like you need to do that, or it's been coming for you, or is that just a good shooting night?
I mean, I know the numbers don't show it, but I can shoot the ball. So I guess tonight they're just falling. And once I saw the first one go in, I was just more confident in it. So I just took the open shot. My man can shoot the ball. He can shoot the ball.
Saben, with some of the big guys getting in foul trouble early on in the second half, did you kind of put some of the responsibility on yourself to kind of pick up in terms of scoring?
I mean, not necessarily, just I guess doing whatever the team needs. So I guess the scoring tonight and just distributing, just for open threes is what I need to do.
Aaron, before the season, you and some of the other freshmen had talked about, bringing back Memorial magic to this building. It hasn't obviously gone the way you maybe had thought about it before the season, but could you feel the energy in the building tonight from all the Vanderbilt crowd?
Absolutely. I mean, that's how we want to be packed every single night. And so this is the first night that since I've been here that's been sold out, and it's a lot of fun. So I think as we keep going, Memorial Magic will be back to its full capacity.
The emotion and energy you guys played with tonight, I know it's a rival of the number 1 team, but do you think you can take that forward out of this game?
Definitely. I feel like we're going to just keep playing the way we did today, and definitely not going to let our emotions or our energy go down.
Saben, what were the points of emphasis that you guys talked about, things to improve on since the Mississippi State game? How did you feel that you did in that regard?
I mean, there was a lot of coaching points from the Mississippi State game, but going into today's game, we were definitely trying to force the ball out of the paint because they definitely have a big presence and just forcing people to knock down shots. But that's primarily it.
What's different about your role in the offense? Your coach mentioned some things that had changed, some passes to the post, things like that. What's different in terms of your responsibility now as the point?
I don't think my responsibility has changed at all. I mean, I'm still supposed to just lead the team, pass to the open man, and just make the right reads being the point guard.
Aaron, after the Kentucky game, you were critical of the team's 3-point shooting, but tonight shooting almost 50% from behind the arc. Is this something you come to expect night in and night out from this team?
Absolutely. I mean, we can shoot the ball. It just doesn't hasn't translated to the game yet. But in practice, I mean, we knock it down on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. So shooting 50% from 3 doesn't surprise me at all. We just got to do it more often when the lights come on.
Any more for the guys? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.